Howdy folks, today we're going to talk about Battle Arms Development's new Enhanced Pivot and Takedown Pin Set. They call it the EPS for their short name. You may have heard of Battle Arms Development for their awesome safeties. The BADASS, which is going to stand for Battle Arms Development Ambidextrous Safety Selector, which I am personally a fan of. I have it on most of my rifles. This one is actually the 90-degree version. They also have the short throw version, but on this long barrel pistol I actually have the 90. But today we're going to talk about installing the enhanced pivot set on here, just because I felt this one needed the upgrade. Was going to make life a little bit easier to manipulate and take down my rifle whenever I need a, well, actually in this case it's going to be my pistol whenever I'm taking it down. But yeah, the EPS is good for both pistols and rifles. And of course, as always, ambulance chasers, here you go. Make sure the firearm is unloaded before beginning to work. Visually inspect the chamber, make sure she is clear. Go ahead and pop out the old takedown and pivot pin first. Now the fun part is that the only tool you need for the front pivot pin is going to be a well, you can use a paper clip, a piece of wire, whatever you have, just because all you actually need to do is, when the pin is extended out all the way, is push in the current detent, so that way you can push it in. Oh, you just heard a click right there. This way you can push it in, rotate it, trap your fingers, slowly pull out, and then that way your pin doesn't go flying across the room, and that way you can put that to the side. Now the EPS set actually does come with a new spring and detents for your build, so that's a fun little upgrade for you in case yours are beaten up and worn out. So we're going to go ahead and grab our new spring. Our detent and our pin. Okay, so you saw things flying there for a moment. That's because Battle Arms Development was good enough to include a magnet, which you're going to go ahead and throw on the back of the takedown pin. And that's actually going to hold your detent right there. Okay, so here we have the detent and the magnet on the other side of the pivot pin. So now we're going to go ahead and okay, awesome, good to go there. Now to do the rear. I'm going to go ahead and take our stock buffer tube, lock ring wrench, make sure we're locked down. Now you're going to find that some setups are going to be a little bit more difficult than others because their setup is staked, so you might have a bit rougher of a cranking to loosen the nut off, just because it has to fight that staking. Okay, right there I just wiggled her a little bit. So here I'm going to go a little bit tighter because I have that option instead of going looser and accidentally having that detent fly out. So I loosened it up. So I have a little bit of clearance. Go ahead and toss the old spring there. Go ahead and bring you guys a little bit closer. We can see what's going on here. Okay. So we have our old detent still in there. Just knocked her out of there. I can remove our old setup. Make sure that we do have, in fact, our new Battle Arms development takedown pin ready to go. Line up the channel towards the rear. Okay. Slide in the new detent. Go ahead and slide in the spring. Go ahead and press the spring a little bit. So I'm at a bad angle, I'm going to cheat. Just use a little wrench to straighten her out. And once we have her lined up, compress it straight in so that way the spring doesn't accidentally get damaged. Okay. Pop it in and out a few times, smoothing it out. Nice. Okay, I'll deal with locking up my lock ring later. Okay. Okay, so now some of the fun new aspects about the new EPS system. So once you have the takedown pin bumped out as far as you can go on the left side, you then have this angled cut right here, so that way you can get your nail underneath there. And also on this side, it's all textured and it's very grippy, so that way it helps give you as much as a purchase as possible and help you take down your upper from your lower. Okay, and then on the front end, you have these ball dimples, which of course increase your speed by, I don't know, 20 to 30% in your shooting. Your follow-up shots are so much straighter. It was either that or it's just badass looking. So I'm pretty sure it's the latter, because in all the tests that we did on performance upgrades, no one was any faster. So sorry guys. Now the other design upgrade is a little spot for you to be able to put in around and push against the takedown pin. So if you have a very stubborn pin, you're going to actually be able to use around and actually push against it. But now the advantage to having this actual indentation is that you're not going to be slipping off and having your round, cartridge go sliding across your lower receiver, scratching up everything along the way. So nice little fun aspect is having that center in on there. Okay, so both on the rear and the front. Fantastic little things. And here, let's see if I can show you that texture. There you go. So anything that helps, get better purchase when trying to pull out those takedown pins, just because some upper and lowers can really bind up and make hell for you. So very small but very awesome upgrade. Anything that makes life easier is going to be an advantage. Thank you guys for joining us today and learning how to install the Battle Arms Development EPS system. It was easy. It was worth it. Anything that's going to make my life easier in the field, it's worth it. So, awesome. Thank you guys for coming up with the innovations over there at Battle Arms Developments. Looking forward to seeing what else you come up with, just because every time you've innovated a new product, I was happy to integrate it into my firearms. So, thank you again and keep up the good work.